Wait. What's down, YouTube? It's your boy Jay off Bill. Oh shit. Feel me? Title of this video. Okay, sorry. Title of this video is Spider-Man recap, everything you need to know before brand new day. For me, I'm going to watch it Friday, right? So I need to watch this to know everything I need to know. You look good, oil up. See, why is this nigga always coming? Why are you always coming to my fucking comments on some zesty shit? No. You're making me feel uncomfortable. Boy, stop. But like I said, Spider-Man recap, everything you need to know before brand new day. You know what I mean? So I need to know a lot of things for brand new day. I will buy 50 bottles of oil. I will buy 50 bottles of oil, fill it in a pool, and we can wrestle.
Is this nigga serious?
Like, gang, you're tripping, fam. Nah, you tripping, Cruddy. You tripping, Cruddy. Nah, I'm trying to talk about Spider-Man brand new day. You talking about oiling me up. Fuck you trying to oil me up for, homie? I ain't trying to get oiled up by you, homie. I don't even know you, homie. You tripping, homie. You tripping, Holmes. For real, Holmes. You tripping, Holmes. 20 bottles. No, man, no bottles, dude. No bottles, dude. The freak. Nah, but for real. Okay. Let's get into the video real quick, man. You done fucked up my YouTube. Okay, 10. How about you take the 1 away and just do 0? Zero bottles of baby oil, gang. 0. But Pete, we have, like I said, Spider-Man recap, brand new day, everything you need to know before brand new day. Let's get into the video.
Did your homework for Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's not just 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies you gotta catch up on. It's 14 Marvel movies, over 60 TV episodes, and 1 Disney Plus special presentation, and we are gonna recap all of it for you in this many minutes. I'm Eric Voss of the New Rockstars channel, and here is a full recap of everything you need to know going into Spider-Man Brand.
Can we get a ooh for Eric Voss?
Shut your stupid New Day. The full MCU history of Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, Frank Castle, Yelena Belova, the DODC, the City of New York, and any helpful context we think you might need about Marvel Studios' broader plan for Avengers Doomsday and the Mutant Saga. Let's take this character by character, starting with Tom Holland's character and his MCU history leading up to Brand New Day. It's kind of hard to do because literally no one knows who this guy is. Like, who's this rando? He kind of looks familiar. I believe this is a guy who told MJ his name was Peter Parker while getting donuts a few Decembers ago, but now he's claiming his name is Maynard and he lives across the hall and he's always sticky. Weird dude. Since Doctor Strange's memory wipe spell erased all record of Peter Parker from existence, we must temporarily undo the runes of Cop Call to even remember his history. There we go. Peter Parker's MCU.
Wait, so is this video like a recap of everything, or like what's okay? Hold on, let me just watch the video.
Story technically begins right here.
Yo, is that 9/11?
Whoa,
nigga, that's not a joke, bro. That's just not a joke, my nigga. That was just 9/11 on the screen. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Am I tweaking? Yo, you're an asswipe, man. It's kind of a dickhead move for you to do. Holy shit.
Sorry to bum everyone out, but Peter Parker's birthday is technically August 10th, 2001 in the MCU timeline, according to his passport close-up that we saw in a deleted scene for Spider-Man Far From Home, which is 1 month before 9/11. And many believe that Peter Parker's parents died in those tragic events, explaining why he would have to grow up with Uncle Ben and Aunt May. It's very, very sad if true. Actually, they picked the date of August 10th because that day in 1962 was Spider-Man's comic publishing debut in Amazing Fantasy number 15, a cover that will be recreated in this movie. But canonically in the MCU, Peter Parker's MCU origin is right here. Nice work, kid. Iron Man 2. The year is 2011 in the MCU timeline, and a 10-year-old Peter Parker attends the Stark Expo during the events of Iron Man 2, when longtime enemy of the Stark family, Ivan Vanko, aka Whiplash, attacks Spider.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, Iron Man 2 and what y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments in the chat. Iron Man 2 was not it. Well, I don't know if it was. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 was not it for me, bro. Iron Man 2 was actually pretty good. My favorite Iron Man was, I think, the first one, though. Yeah, definitely probably the first one. Second one was straight. Third one, I did not like at all. I'm not gonna lie. Third one was just like, no, the third one was good. It was just like, I didn't really like the villain, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was when I was younger. Maybe I need to rewatch it. But the Iron Man series to me was like, okay. I wish they did a Captain America series though. Real shit.
Justin hammers armored suits into remote-operated weapons. Iron Man saves this kid wearing an Iron Man mask, who was later retconned to be a 10-year-old Peter Parker, according to Tom Holland and Kevin Feige during the Spider-Man Homecoming press tour in 2017. But at the time, the kid was actually played by Max Favreau, director Jon Favreau's son, and he actually appeared earlier in this movie in a quick point-of-view shot as Tony Stark was pushing away through the crowd at the expo. But right here is the first time Peter Parker meets Iron Man in MCU history, and it's why Peter included a shot of the World's Fair globe in Flushing in Homecoming. This was the moment Peter wanted to become an Avenger and why he always loved Tony Stark in particular. Next, Avengers. The Battle of New York in 2012 was an eventful moment for all MCU characters, particularly in the New York area, and we will revisit it from Bruce's point of view in a bit, but for Peter Parker, it was the aftermath of this battle in the damaged Grand Central Station where Hulk and Thor downed a Chitauri Leviathan, followed by Hulk punching Thor out of frame, where in the opening scene of 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming, a crew led by Adrian Toomes salvages Chitauri tech before getting shut down by the Department of Damage Control, aka the DODC. We will. So I'm not gonna lie,
that really started everything. Avengers 1 really started everything. If you really think about it to the grits and the bones, you know what I mean? Like, because if that never happened, Spider-Man would have never been born, bro. If you really, really think about it, OG.
On to 2016, Captain America Civil War. The Avengers are divided over the Sokovia Accords and over Steve Rogers.
Because that was his first villain, so if that just never happened, then it was just like, you know?
Defense over his friend, the Winter Soldier Bucky Barnes, and things.
Oh my gosh, sorry, I keep pausing, but the way they nerfed this nigga Bucky in the fucking MCU is so crazy to me because they made this nigga seem like he was goddamn stronger than Thor himself, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And then, like, they're gonna nerf him down to this useless ass street level fighter. Like, are we serious, bro? Like, that shit. And I fuck with Winter Soldier so hard, bro. Winter Soldier is one of my favorite Marvel characters ever. And the way they just dicked him like that is crazy to me, bro. Like, that's so crazy.
From there, so Tony Stark recruits to his side of the conflict Peter Parker, a kid from Queens whose spider abilities and street-level heroics on YouTube have gotten Tony's attention. This is the first time we see Tom Holland as Peter Parker in the MCU, and it's the first time we meet Marissa Tomei's Aunt May. In this conversation in their apartment, we learn that Peter has had his powers for 6 months, meaning that he had gotten bitten by the spiders sometime in late 2015. We still don't know what that spider bite looks like or how it went down, but in this scene, Peter tells this to Tony.
Do y'all think in Brand New Day that they're gonna show how the spider, like, they're gonna flash back and be like, oh, this is what happened and this is how he got bit and this is why he's reacting this way? Or is it gonna be like, nah, we're just never gonna know? Because I look, you do want to know, like, how this Peter got bit. I mean, I've seen it every time, but, like, I don't know, I just kind of want to see, you know?
Do the things that I can, but you don't. And then the bad things happen. They happen because of you.
At the time, this seems like paraphrasing.
What do you mean L-take? How's that L-take? How's that L-take?
Phrasing of the with great power comes great responsibility mindset, and potentially a reference to Peter.
We already seen so many origins. I know that. No, I'm asking because, like, I just want to see it still though, like, because I feel like every time we've seen it, it's kind of like in a different area or a different setting. I'm pretty sure Amazing Spider-Man 2 was actually in a lab. The first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, I forget where it was somewhere else, but it wasn't in a lab. I want to see, like, where he was when he got his spider, like, the bite. Like, do you think they're gonna show it in Brand New Day? Is what I'm asking. Because, like, the mutation and everything with Brand New Day, they go back, oh, flashback, and then be like, oh, this is the spider that bit him, and this is why you acting this way or not? It was in a lab with Toby too. Really interesting. I did not know that. I thought it was in a different location from my memory. My memory's pretty bad, huh? That's on me. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me.
Feeling regret over not being able to save his Uncle Ben. But 10 years later in 2026, the Russo brothers who directed the scene clarified that in their view, the MCU Uncle Ben's death was not caused by Peter's inaction, but rather some kind of accident.
Spider-Man was one of my favorite characters growing up.
Sure.
If not my favorite. And what I related to was this idea of a kid with incredible responsibility. What I've heard.
The reason he's
and
mutating is
I think you could.
The reason he's mutating is because he don't have a life balance between Spider-Man and Peter Parker. That's a good fucking take, bro. That's a good take. That's what I've heard. But, like, I don't know if that's a good take or a bad take, because it's like, how would that make him mutate? Oh, he doesn't have a life balance between Spider-Man and Peter Parker, or like he's using his powers too much or some shit. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Manifest that responsibility through accidental death, right? And feeling the pressure of and the sense of loss in your life in a way that would keep the spirit that we wanted and what Tom Holland is as an actor than if he blamed himself for his Uncle Ben's death. I think he's a very different character. So in our minds, no, he wasn't responsible for Uncle Ben's death. And that would have been a different interpretation, a more intense interpretation of the character.
Tony and Happy Hogan fly Peter Parker to Berlin and equip him with a new Spider-Man suit armed with Stark tech. Peter snatches Captain America's shield, really pisses off Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes, and comes up with an Empire Strikes Back inspired solution to bring down giant-sized Scott Lang by tripping him up with webbing. Captain America Steve Rogers ends up pinning Peter Parker but leaves him okay, and at the end of this airport battle, Tony Stark sidelines Peter from there forward. Which brings us on to Spider-Man Homecoming. So after the 2012 prologue scene, we jump ahead to Peter's perspective of the Civil War airport battle and Tony and Happy dropping him back.
Yo, I've always wondered how this happened, how he brought his phone to the fight and it just didn't blow up. Like everything around him was blowing up, but your phone didn't. That just never made any sense to me. I don't know.
Back off at home in Queens. Tony allows Peter to keep the Spider-Man suit on the condition that he'll be responsible and check in with them. And then we jump ahead to fall of 2017. Peter is now a sophomore at Midtown High School, building a Lego Death Star set with his buddy Ned Leeds, pining after Liz Allen, and being part of the academic decathlon team with these two and MJ Watson, Eugene Flash Thompson, and various others. Ned finds out that Peter is Spider-Man, and in their various conversations, we learn that it was indeed a spider that bit Peter.
Spider's dead, Ned.
It's in this movie where Ned really defines himself as the ultimate best friend, the man in the chair. And it's what inspired this new shirt that we have at our merch store, Nerdorite.shoe. Now, he hears himself uses a winged flight. Peter interferes with the criminal dealings of Adrian Toomes' gang. Toomes himself uses a winged flight suit, making him the Vulture, and he's trying to sell all this scavenged...
Yo, the Vulture in this movie was so... I'm sorry for pausing so much, but he was so good, bro. He was so good. It was so good. I feel like it was like probably one of the best depictions of Vulture. Like a real life Vulture, of course. Like, you know, the Vulture in the comics and the shows is like an actual like Vulture, like a mutated Vulture or some shit. But like I fuck with like the how they depicted it in the movie. In my opinion, it was really good.
Super tech to buyers like Matt Gargan, aka Scorpion, for whom Toomes and his tinkerer Phineas Mason actually do build a suit that we will finally see in Brand New Day. Another buyer is Aaron Davis, played by Donald Glover, who alludes to having a nephew named Miles Morales.
I don't want those weapons in this neighborhood. I got a nephew who live here. Yeah, sorry, Miles. I'm not gonna make it.
So technically, there still is a Miles Morales somewhere in the MCU. Peter interfering with a sale on the Staten Island ferry makes too big of a mess. So Tony Stark confiscates the suit, and Peter ends up taking Liz Allen homecoming and realizes her father is Adrian Toomes. Toomes figures out who Peter is on the car ride and terrifies the kid. Also throughout this movie, Happy Hogan is being tasked with moving the last of the Avengers gear out of Avengers Tower to their new campus upstate, shown in 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron. Introducing for the first time this whole mystery of Avengers Tower's sale to some unknown buyer. Toomes tried to hijack a jet carrying the last of it. Peter stops Toomes in his own homemade suit. Tony shows Peter Avengers campus and offers him an Iron Spider armored suit, and there was going to be a press conference with Pepper Potts revealing Spider-Man as an Avenger alongside Iron Man, but Peter says no thanks. Aunt May learns that her nephew is Spider-Man, and Toomes ends up in Rikers with Matt Gargan, who promises to one day put Spider-Man's head in a dryer. Later on in the Morbius film, we'll see that Adrian Toomes gets teleported to the Morbius universe. On to Avengers Infinity War. It's now spring of 2018. A Q ship of Thanos' Black Order appears over New York City and sensed by Peter on his way to a field trip. Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian are trying to get the Time Stone from Doctor Strange, and Strange is joined by Tony, Wong, and Bruce Banner, Bruce struggling to summon his Hulk form after Thanos beat his ass. Peter helps Tony as the battle spills into Central Park, and when Doctor Strange gets taken by Ebony Maw, Peter...
Don't get me started on the fucking Hulk, dude. I'm so sorry. I keep pausing, but I just gotta lay this last thing out. I'm gonna shut up for like the next 15 minutes. Bro, the way they depicted Hulk in the fucking MCU blows my fucking mind, because when I was a child, I actually liked Hulk so much. I watched the Hulk. It was a Hulk show with all Hulk and friends or some shit like that, bro. And it was so good. And Hulk was so strong. Hulk always gets stronger as he fights. So the way that Thanos would just beat him up so easy like that, and he wasn't getting stronger or nothing like that. He was just getting his ass beat, or like they just bro. The MCU just does not depict Hulk's power correctly, bro. Hulk is literally OP as fuck. There's nothing that can beat or stop Hulk ever, bro, because he keeps getting stronger. The only way to beat Hulk is to calm him down, and everybody knows that. Also, talk no jutsu shit, bro. But they never want to depict that shit, and that shit pisses me off low key, bro. Low key. even like the first Avengers movie, they did all right, but even after that, bro, it was just like it was kind of there. But like, bro, nah, game.
Follows on the Q ship. Tony equips the kid with the Iron Spider armor to help Peter breathe in the high altitude. Tony, Peter, and Strange end up on Titan, joined by Peter Quill, Drax, and Mantis of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they nearly get the Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos' hand, but Peter Quill punches Thanos out of Mantis' trance when he learned that the Mad Titan killed Gamora. Thanos gets the Time Stone and the final stone, the Mind Stone, back on Earth. He snaps, and Peter dusts away in the most heartbreaking moment of the film.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Sir, please.
Also among the dusted, we later learn, are Ned, MJ, and Aunt May. On to Avengers Endgame. This blip period.
Do I think I can act, bro? Hold on. Let's get to acting. And cut. Please. I don't want to go. No, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I don't want to go. Please. I can't. I don't want to go. I'm scared. Tony. I'm scared. Shut your stupid. Awesome shit, bro. Awesome shit. That was good acting. That was good fucking acting. If you ask me, buddy. I could really be Miles Morales if they wanted, like, if they ever want to sue me for Miles Morales, bro. Hit your boy up.
It lasts for over 5 years, and we're now in October of 20.
Why can't I hear shit?
Stark, inspired by a photo of himself with Peter Parker, gives another crack to unlocking time travel and succeeds. He and the other survivors use the time heist to regather Infinity Stones. Black Widow Natasha Romanoff doesn't survive. Smart Hulk, whose gamma-irradiated body can handle the release of gamma radiation from the Infinity Stones, wears Tony Stark's new Stark Gauntlet and snaps everyone back into existence. This includes Peter Parker, Doctor Strange, Drax, Peter Quill, and Mantis back on Titan. They come through a sling ring portal to join the Battle of Earth. During this battle, Peter reunites with Tony as the Marvel heroes work together to rush the Stark Gauntlet on an attempted rugby try to the quantum tunnel in the Ant-Van. Peter takes his turn until he has to hand it off to Carol Danvers. The battle ends with Tony Stark tricking Thanos, absorbing the Infinity Stones off of Thanos' gauntlet into his own armor and snapping Thanos' forces out of existence. Tony does not survive this. Peter mourns his old mentor and attends the funeral. Spider-Man Far From Home. It's now summer 2024. The Midtown Morning News report in this movie officially coins the term the blip, and now younger students like Brad Davis are 5 years older. Peter's academic decathlon team goes on a summer trip to Europe, while around the world, attacks from elemental monsters are being stopped by Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio. Nick Fury finds Peter in Venice and gives him the high-tech sunglasses that Tony Stark left to Peter in his will, called Edith, for Even Dead I'm the Hero. These glasses give Peter access to people's private devices and control over a fleet of drones. Peter gets MJ a Black Dahlia necklace, and MJ figures out that Peter is Spider-Man. Peter and Mysterio stop a water elemental in Venice and a fire elemental in Prague, but after that battle, Peter gives the Edith glasses to Mysterio, not trusting himself to hold them, and we learn that Quentin Beck is actually a con man, a former Stark employee, the one who invented the holographic barf technology seen in Captain America Civil War, with a whole team of other disaffected Stark employees who created the Mysterio identity and the elementals using drones and illusion tech in order to get the Edith glasses from Peter and make Mysterio a new Avenger to fill the void left by Iron Man. And throughout this movie, members of this team were stalking Peter in the background. Beck terrorizes Peter in Berlin with a hallucinatory attack. Peter regains his senses in the Netherlands and builds a new suit to stop Team Mysterio's attack on Tower Bridge in London. Beck appears to die, but we don't know for sure. Back in New York City, Peter and MJ are now dating. J.K. Simmons appears as J. Jonah Jameson with doctored footage supplied by Team Mysterio, claiming that Spider-Man was behind those attacks and that Spider-Man is a kid named Peter Parker. And we learn that Nick Fury and Maria Hill in this movie were actually Skrulls, Talos and Soren. On to Spider-Man No Way Home. Peter, Ned, MJ, and Happy Hogan face legal scrutiny from the DODC, which is now led by Agent Cleary, as the agency now confiscates all of the Stark tech. Matt Murdock takes on Peter as a client and gets his charges dropped, but the scandal stops the three kids from getting into MIT. Peter asks Doctor Strange for help with the spell to make the world forget he's Spider-Man. Since the events of Endgame, Wong has now become the Sorcerer Supreme, and Strange suggests the Runes of Kafkal, a memory.
Wait, whoa. Wong's the Sorcerer. Wait, so why? Wait, hold on, pause. Why is Wong the Sorcerer Supreme? Why is Doctor Strange? Can y'all let me know in the comments why Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme and not Doctor Strange anymore? Am I missing something, chat? Chat, let me know also, please.
wipe spell that he and other sorcerers of Kamar-Taj have used at least once before. As Doctor Strange starts to do this spell, Peter keeps making exceptions for those closest to him to still remember who he is, and that causes the spell to go awry, glitching and bringing in multiverse men from other movie universes that we've seen before. From the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man universe, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and Sandman, and from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man universe, Electro and Lizard, and though we don't see them until later, Eddie Brock Venom from his universe, and of course the Tobey and Andrew Peters themselves. Peter and the others captured Doc Ock and the Lizard, but Norman Osborn appeals to Aunt May as a confused, misunderstood man. So Peter and Strange argue over whether it's humane to send them back to their deaths and their universes. Peter takes Strange's Machina de Cadavis box and battles Strange in the mirror dimension, where we learn that Peter can use his spidey sense to control his physical body from the astral plane. Peter traps Strange in the mirror dimension while he tries to help these multiverse men by giving them specific antidotes to cure their evil. But Norman Osborn's true goblin evil comes out and attacks, killing Aunt May with a pumpkin grenade and his glider, but not before Aunt May drops the big line.
You have power, and with great power, there must also come great responsibility.
Ned, who turns out has some natural sorcerer abilities, uses a sling ring to try to find Peter and instead finds the Andrew Garfield Peter Parker and then the Tobey Maguire Peter Parker. These two Peters meet our Peter to help him grieve, and these three Peters plus Ned and MJ come up with a way to undo what ails each of the multiverse men. They all fight at the Statue of Liberty in a battle of callbacks and reunions. Our Peter nearly kills Norman Osborn, but Tobey Maguire Peter talks him down, and with Doctor Strange's spell, they send all of these redeemed multiverse.
Yo, the face this nigga makes, hold on.
Maguire,
every time he struggles, like, this nigga, it looks like he's finna take a shit, bro. Like, it looks like he's shitting bricks right now. Like, that's literally what it looks like right now. It looks like he's shitting bricks, bro. And he always makes his face when he's struggling. He's like, bro, relax, bro. Calm down, gang. Like, this nigga looks like he's shitting, bro.
Him down, and with Doctor Strange's spell, they send all of these redeemed multiverse men back to their home realities. But for the multiverse rifts to close, Peter must allow Doctor Strange to fully erase everyone's memories of him. Peter says goodbye to Ned and MJ, who promises that she will remember him someday so that he can complete his I love you back to her. Everyone forgets that Spider-Man is Peter Parker and forgets the name Peter Parker, with physical and digital reality even warping. And
so this is when we get to, hold on, let me fix my camera real quick, bro. I feel like it's low-key fucked up. So this is when we get to Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is when we get to it right here. I'm so excited, bro. We got the little recap that we needed. Now we get into the nitty and gritty, you feel me?
Specific way to erase any record of Peter's existence. Actually, the movie's digital release bonus post-credit scene gave us various photo examples of Midtown High School memory photos where Peter is just conveniently obscured or facing away. MJ and Ned are now headed to MIT, and Peter nearly gives MJ a letter telling her everything, but decides not to. He lives in the city now, studying for the GED and wearing a new suit inspired by the two other Peter variants he met.
So wow, so since he no one remembers him. No one remembers that he graduated or none of that. Like, he's just, he didn't graduate. Damn. Oh, no, he couldn't graduate. Never mind. Sorry.
So before we move on to other characters, let's recap what this memory wipe spell means for the MCU after it went through. One, characters still remember the history and events that Spider-Man was involved with, they just don't remember who was under the mask, and they've never heard of the name Peter Parker. Two, any physical or digital evidence of Peter's existence has been erased or warped in creative ways to justify his memory alteration. Three, this spell only seems to apply to characters in the 616 universe of the MCU. That includes everything off-world, but not characters in other dimensions, with one exception. Four, Tom Holland has said in interviews that only one person in this universe remembers that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. You could logically deduce that the one piece of Venom goo left behind on the bar top in the post-credit scene could be that one entity, since all Venom variants share hive knowledge across universes, but it could also refer to Sadie Sink's character in this movie, who seems to have telepathic powers that would...
I feel like if Sadie Sink knows, it'll just like, it's just no point, because now it's just like, oh, I know who you are, I'm gonna leak it again. Nah, bro. It should be no villain. It should probably be like some like Hulk or not Zendaya. Who just like, yeah, probably Hulk would probably make the most sense to know who he is. Probably, definitely.
Either resist this kind of magic or just be able to read Peter's thoughts. We should also fill you in on what the DODC has been up to since No Way Home. The DODC next appeared in the 2022 Ms. Marvel series, where Agent Cleary and the less likable Agent Deaver were specifically seeking enhanced individuals like the clandestines in the Jersey City area, and they even used some of those confiscated Stark drones to try to capture Kamala Khan and her cousin. In the 2022 She-Hulk series, we learn that the DODC has a supermax prison in Yucca Valley, California, where highly powered enhanced persons like Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination, are kept. In the 2026 Wonder Man series, the DODC and Agent Cleary were investigating violations to the Doorman Clause, which is a prohibition of enhanced persons working in Hollywood productions after the portal powers of DeMar Doorman Davis got Josh Gad, yes, the Josh Gad, trapped in the dark dimension. As of now, Josh Gad is still lost. And now in Spider-Man Brand New Day, the DODC is represented by William Metzger, Tremel Tillman, who seems to be hunting Sadie Sink's escaped enhanced person who has the powers of consciousness hopping, among other powers. William Metzger is an anti-mutant character in the Marvel Comics, so we are all assuming that the DODC is now going to be a mutant hunting organization in the MCU. We know that after a big
wait, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough because then that leads into X-Men and like X-Men and the freaking Doomsday and shit like that, bro. So like fuck Doomsday for a sec. Just X-Men in general. When the X-Men come out now, it's like and they're in the same timeline and shit. Now that they're all in the same timeline and X-Men comes out and like it's X-Men now, that it's just a perfect fit. It's like a puzzle piece on some shit.
Like Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out and you want answers, you come to New Rockstars because you know you can trust us. Trusting the sources you get your news from is important, but it's not always driven code via email. I launched the S8 when he's subscription by also going to be a Bruce Banner was played by Edward and less trustworthy journalism. All right, moving on to Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner. He's also going to be a big part of this movie, and let's quickly track his MCU history. Starting with the Incredible Hulk. Back when Bruce Banner was played by Edward Norton, Bruce worked for Thaddeus Ross in the US military super soldier program and got blasted with gamma radiation that resulted in him hulking out whenever he got too angry.
I'm gonna give it a break. He should have been Bruce Banner. They should have kept this Hulk throughout everything, bro. I feel like he would have been he's actually such a good Bruce Banner that is like he looks just like the Bruce Banner in the comics, and he played the role so well and Hulk so well. Like that Hulk was amazing, literally incredible. Like I fuck with that Hulk more than the MCU Hulk. That the MCU Hulk really fucked everything up. If we're being realistic, bro. Like I actually fuck with that. Him as Bruce Banner. He's scrawny in the movie. All that shit, bro. Like, that was a good Bruce Banner, in my opinion.
He now works at a bottling plant in Brazil.
That looks just like fucking Bruce Banner. That's perfect casting, too. That's crazy.
But then a strike force led by Emil Blonsky flushes him out. Peter reconnects with Betty Ross and tries to connect with his digital pen pal, Mr. Blue. At Culver University, he meets a grad student played by Martin Starr, who has actually been confirmed to be the same character as Peter Parker's teacher, Mr. Harrington. Blonsky receives the super soldier serum, but gets injured by Hulk on this college campus. Mr. Blue, it turns out, is Samuel Stearns, who experiments on Bruce's blood serum that Blonsky injects to become Abomination, and serum that drips into Stearns' head to make him become the leader. Hulk and Abomination fight in the Battle of Harlem, which for many years was the only example of a Hulk thunderclap in the MCU. Tony Stark approaches Thaddeus Ross to recruit Bruce Banner for Nick Fury's Avengers Initiative, but in the one-shot The Consultant, we learned Ross's original plan was to recruit Abomination, but S.H.I.E.L.D. sent Tony Stark to annoy Ross into taking Banner instead. Abomination would later return in Shang-Chi and She-Hulk. The leader would return in Captain America.
See, that's the thing, like, bro, MCU needs to stop fucking characters up, bro.
Taking Banner instead.
Abomination. What is this? Yeah, I understand Abomination looks like that in like the comics sometimes, but it's like, bro, really? You have to make him look this goofy. In the Incredible Hulk, he looks so tough. He looked so tough in the Incredible Hulk, bro. He looked so tough in the Incredible Hulk, bro. And now he looks like this. Are we serious? Come on, bro. That's fucked up.
Would later return in Shang-Chi and She-Hulk. The leader would return in Captain America Brave New World. Onto the Avengers again. Mark Ruffalo at this point takes over for the role of Bruce Banner. Bruce is found by Natasha Romanoff and S.H.I.E.L.D. and forced to join the Avenger Initiative on Nick Fury's S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. That's where he drops this hard line.
I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out.
This was a deleted scene for the 2008 Hulk film, but it does show how dark things have gotten for Bruce. Bruce uses his spectrometers to help them track Loki's movements with the Tesseract, and when Loki gets arrested, the Mind Stone in Loki's scepter causes anger and division among the Avengers. When Loki breaks out, Bruce ends up hulking out and chases Natasha through the helicarrier and fights Thor. He leaps off of the helicarrier onto a fighter jet and crash lands to the ground. He ends up rejoining the other Avengers in the middle of the Battle of New York, where he says,
"That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry."
Hulk smashes throughout this battle. It's awesome. And he brings down a Leviathan, punches Thor out of frame, and then does this to Loki.
Nah, I actually love this scene. This scene was definitely a classic. one of the funniest.
The Avengers end up defeating Loki and all of his Chitauri forces. On to Avengers Age of Ultron. At this point, Bruce has been working with Natasha on a sun's getting real low maneuver to calm himself down. He joins the other Avengers in finishing off Hydra in the forests of Sokovia. Bruce and Tony use the Mind Stone to power the Ultron AI, which goes rogue and self-aware. The Scarlet Witch, who with her brother Quicksilver are briefly aligned with Ultron, causes Hulk to rage out in Johannesburg, where Hulk gets beaten by Tony's Hulkbuster armor.
And that's, bro, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The Hulkbuster armor thing should never have beaten Hulk, because like I said, Hulk gets stronger every time he punches, and the more damage he gets stronger. So the whole Hulkbuster shit, like,
while Hulk
I guess it's supposed to be a Hulkbuster, but it's not actually supposed to. It's supposed to hold him down, not stop him, bro. It's not a fucking Hulk stopper, bro. Realistically, it should not have worked at all. That's just not what it is, bro. I'm sorry.
And fight Ultron's army of sentries in Sokovia, he ends up leaving the planet on a Quinjet. Bringing us to Thor Ragnarok. We find out Hulk took the Quinjet to planet Sakaar, where he stayed in Hulk form for 2 years as a gladiator champion. Yes! Thor finds him here and helps him revert to human Banner form. Banner has no memory of when Hulk was at the wheel. Banner joins Thor's Revengers to fight Hela on Asgard. Hulk beats Hela's wolf Fenris and joins the other Asgardian refugees on the Statesman as they watch Asgard be destroyed. On to Avengers Infinity War. On the Statesman, Thanos beats Hulk in a submission in a raw knuckle fight. Heimdall sends Hulk to—
Like I said, bro, this should have never fucking happened. Ever, bro. He should have got back up and got angrier, but they treat Hulk like he's a bitch in the MCU, bro. They keep disrespecting this nigga. It's driving me nuts.
Earth with the Bifrost, and Banner crashes into the Sanctum Sanctorum, where he warns Strange and Wong that Thanos is coming. Banner throughout this movie struggles to activate his Hulk form, and he never actually crosses paths with Spider-Man in New York before Peter goes off-world. But they do catch Bruce up later.
There's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man?
Bruce joins the others in Wakanda to consult on removing Vision's Mind Stone. Bruce suits up with the Hulkbuster armor and successfully defeats Cull Obsidian, but is one of the survivors left after the snap. On to Avengers Endgame. Banner joins the other Avengers to find Thanos in the Garden Planet, where Thanos had already used the stones to destroy those stones. 5 years after this, Banner has become Smart Hulk.
18 months in the gamma lab. I put the brains and the brawn together. And now look at me. Best of both worlds.
This in-between stage of Hulk is Bruce's same personality and intelligence, but in the body of a Hulk that they actually designed to be 7'5", as opposed to Savage Hulk's normal height of 8'5". Bruce works with the other Avengers to perfect time travel using quantum bands and pin particles. During this time heist, Bruce goes to the Ancient One in 2012 during the Battle of New York and learns this about displacing Infinity Stones from the timeline.
The Infinity Stones create what you experience as the flow of time. Remove one of the stones, and that flow splits. Now, this may benefit your reality, but my new one, not so much. In this new branch reality, without our chief weapon against the forces of darkness, our world would be overrun.
A line that could be very important to Avengers Doomsday. Hulk acquires the Time Stone, rejoins the Avengers in the present, mourns Natasha by throwing a bench into the lake, and wears the gauntlet to snap everyone back into existence. And helps defeat Thanos' forces and send Steve Rogers back through the quantum tunnel to return the 6 stones from where and when they took them. Onto Shang-Chi. Bruce Banner next returns here in this movie's post-credit scene on a holo call with Wong, Carol Danvers, Shang-Chi, and Katie as they try to figure out what ancient technology the 10 rings are. This is the first time we see Bruce use his wrist bracelet Hulk inhibitor device, which allows him to stay in human form. We will actually see this again in She-Hulk. While riding in a car with his cousin, Jennifer Walters, a Sakaran spacecraft causes an accident that damages Bruce's wrist device and causes his gamma-irradiated blood to spill into his cousin's wound. Bruce's gamma blood turns his cousin into She-Hulk. The two of them spend some time in Tony Stark's Mexico beach house and lab, this being the Gamma Lab, where Bruce created the Smart Hulk form, and back in the Smart Hulk form, Bruce tests Jen's abilities and helps train her. We finally get some thunderclaps again. Bruce heads back to the planet Sakaar and then returns in the final episode of the series to reveal that during his time on Sakaar, he had a son named Scar with a very bad haircut. Now Bruce Banner is a professor at Empire State.
This thing has a son? Yo, I need to watch this show, bro. What the fuck?
Bruce heads back to the planet Sakaar and then returns in the final episode of the series to reveal that during his time on Sakaar, he had a son named Scar with a very bad haircut. Now Bruce Banner is a professor at Empire State University, and I doubt that scar is going to come up at all. But we're going to see in Spider-Man Brand New Day how we're going to get back to the Savage Hulk form. Like, Peter's at first going to see the 7'5" smart Hulk form, who's just really, really pissed off, and then the even bigger 8'5" form. And I got to tell you, based off of some recent trailers, they really focused on the veiny muscle definition that really just removed any body fat from this version of Hulk. Our man is shredded and terrifying. You do not want to see this guy's Hulk inhibitor device get damaged. Or maybe we kind of do. All right, Spider-Man Brand New Day will also pair up Spider-Man with the Punisher, Frank Castle. John Bernthal's Frank Castle Punisher first appeared in Daredevil Season 2 in the Netflix era in 2016 as a New York vigilante who butted heads with Red over whether or not to use lethal force against the criminals they were apprehending. Matt Murdock defended Frank Castle in court, which is when Frank deduced that Matt was Daredevil during that trial. Frank went away to prison and survived a prison riot started by fellow inmate Wilson Fisk. Fisk broke Frank out of prison so that Frank could kill all of Fisk's crime boss rivals. This version of Punisher was explored further in his own spin-off series. In Punisher Season 1, we learned that Frank was a Marine serving in Afghanistan, working on the Black Ops team, the Cerberus Squad, commanded by CIA officer Rollins, aka Agent Orange. Frank parted ways with this group and then lost his family, his wife Maria and his kids Frank Jr. and Lisa, in a shooting on a merry-go-round in Central Park. Frank thought this was crossfire among criminal gangs like the Kitchen Irish, the Dogs of Hell, and the Mexican Cartel. And we learn later the Nucci's too. A sting operation gone wrong from corrupt DA Samantha Reyes. But in truth, it was a planned hit on Frank and his family by Rollins and Frank's former CEO, Colonel Schoonover, aka Blacksmith. Frank teams up with Micro, a hacker played by the future Thing actor Eben Moss Bachrach, to get his vengeance on both Rollins and Schoonover. In Punisher Season 2, Frank's fellow Marine in the Black Ops team, Billy Russo, comes into the narrative as someone who secretly worked with Rollins during the killing of Frank's family. Frank gets his vengeance on Russo too, giving him the scars that will make him Jigsaw, and eventually kills him. By the end of Season 2, Frank embraces his Skull moniker and continues unleashing violent vengeance on the deadly criminals in the New York underworld. Several years later, in Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Matt Murdock tracks down the bullet casing of the shot that killed Hector Ayala, the White Tiger, that was marked with the Punisher logo, to Frank Castle in his hideout. Frank denied involvement and blamed it on these lame fanboys of the corrupt cops who ended up becoming the ABTF. In this conversation with Matt, Frank confesses this.
Every time I start moving, I still hear my little boy. I see him, and I hear his voice. He says, "Get him, Daddy." Every last single one of them get him.
After Matt takes the bullet from Mayor Fisk, he goes back to his apartment to find Frank waiting for him, and both are attacked by the AVTF goons. Frank kills a lot of them. Karen Page joins up with them, and they get cleaned up in Frank's hideout. And while Matt and Karen go to investigate the legality of the Red Hook Freeport that Foggy Nelson had been looking up, the research that had caused Vanessa Fisk to send Bullseye to go kill Foggy, Frank goes directly to fight the AVTF goons at the Freeport. He kills a lot of them, but gets arrested, caged in Fisk's prison, and very quickly breaks an arm to get out. We do not see Frank Castle at all throughout Daredevil Born Again Season 2, other than a few mentions of him being a vigilante hunted by the AVTF, and we learned that he had let Matt and Karen use that basement hideout as their headquarters. But Frank did get his own Punisher One Last Kill special presentation that came out in May. After a series of violent executions of members of the Nucci crime family by Frank, Frank's neighborhood of Little Sicily has gone to hell in this power vacuum. Ma Nucci puts a hit on Frank Castle, and Frank kills, I counted, exactly 100 people as he fights to survive and save a family at a nearby bodega, including this little girl who reminds him of his daughter Lisa. In Spider-Man,
I'm not gonna lie, Frank is a dog, bro. Frank is a fucking dog, gang. Real life, bro. He's a dog, bro.
Brand New Day, we're gonna see Frank drive his battle van, sleep on his boat, the Golden Girl, and be unafraid as he teams up with Peter to fight off the Hulk using a shotgun. It has also been soft confirmed by Kevin Feige that Yelena Belova will appear in Spider-Man Brand New Day, so let's quickly catch up on her. We first met Yelena in Black Widow. Yelena Belova was part of a fake spy family with Natasha, Alexei, and Melina. They flee the United States in 1995 and meet Dreykov in Cuba. Dreykov takes Natasha and Yelena into the Red Room to become Black Widow agents. In 2016, right after the events of Civil War, when Natasha is still a fugitive on the run, Yelena breathes in an antidote that liberates her from the Black Widow mind control. She teams up with Natasha as they're pursued by Taskmaster. They reunite with Alexei and Melina.
Yo, bro, that Taskmaster was so fucking terrible, bro. And I really hope they do a new one, because the way they try to no, I actually fuck with Taskmaster, bro. He is supposed to be, well, he could be a she too, but they're supposed to be a fucking like assassin that remembers, that has like photo memory and can just remember and mimic everything, bro. Mimic every fighting style. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah, bro, nah. Nah, that's not Taskmaster. Whatever they had, that shit was not Taskmaster. Not gonna lie.
Find the Red Room floating command center, where Taskmaster is revealed to be Antonia Dreykov, Dreykov's daughter, someone Natasha thought she had killed by accident. Natasha antidotes all of the widows in this facility. Yelena kills General Dreykov in a very bad VFX shot. The Red Room crashes, and Yelena goes off with the other liberated widows to try to find and liberate all other widows around the world. In this movie's post-credit scene, at Natasha's grave, Val recruits Yelena to kill Clint Barton, whom they blame for Natasha's death during the events of Endgame. In the Hawkeye series, we learn that Yelena was one of the victims of the snap. She had one of the more traumatic experiences. She meets Kate Bishop and eats sriracha mac and cheese while looking for Clint, and while trying to kill Clint, Clint ends up apologizing for what happened with Natasha, and Yelena forgives him. Onto Thunderbolts. Yelena has been working for Val's Ox Group, a shadowy organization that Val was supposed to have divested from now that she's the CIA director in the MCU. Val's Project Sentry experimented on addicts with super soldier serum and got lucky with Bob Reynolds. So now Val tries to have Yelena, John Walker, Ghost, Taskmaster, and Bob all kill each other off. Val gets her hands on Bob and rebrands him as the Sentry, and we learn that Val is the new owner of Avengers Tower, as she's been redesigning it into the Watchtower. This team of Thunderbolts confronts Val and Sentry and initially lose. Sentry covers New York City in darkness as he sends people into their voids, a kind of shame memory prison that for Yelena forces her to relive her Red Room trauma. The Thunderbolts stop this and save Bob with a group hug. Val introduces the team as the New Avengers, and in this movie's post-credit scene, the New Avengers are in the New Avengers Tower that we are going to see in Doomsday, and they see the Fantastic Four ship arriving in this universe. The recent Doomsday trailer confirmed that on that ship are the Fantastic Four, plus Thor, plus also potentially Steve Rogers and an unmasked Victor, played by Robert Downey Jr. So we'll end here with a cheat sheet for Brand New Day, just kind of round up the other details you need to know going into the film without spoiling anything. This fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man movie is being directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, director of the Shang-Chi film. He's reuniting with his longtime director of photography, Brett Pollack.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited now. All right, yes sir, Nico. You joined late as hell, but what's up, man? But I'm actually pretty excited for this now because Shang-Chi was such a good movie, bro. Shang-Chi was a really good movie.
For the Shang-Chi film, he's reuniting with his longtime director of photography, Brett Pollack, bringing in Jerome Chen as VFX supervisor after Chen's work on the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Ooh, yeah.
I go deep into why this movie looks this good in this video that you should really check out. But basically, the crew are emphasizing practical swinging, great stunts, great color grading, and a practical suit that fits loosely the way a suit like this naturally would. Spider-Man Brand New Day is set 4 to 5 years after No Way Home. We think the early scenes of the movie will be set a few months after No Way Home ends, and then a montage will show Peter as a hero in New York City for the 4 years that Ned and MJ are at MIT. And then the rest of the movie will take place after they've graduated from MIT and have returned to New York City, where Peter Parker will attend a housewarming party claiming to be a guy named Maynard who lives across the hall. Ned has a research wall trying to figure out who Spider-Man is because they still have a memory of a masked Spider-Man saving them, and Ned has a Spidey tracker app. Kevin Feige has confirmed that Brand New Day takes place before Avengers Doomsday, but it may also take place before the post-credit scene of Thunderbolts when Yelena is already talking about a huge space crisis in Earth's orbit, probably referring to the incursion countdown that we see them all talking about in the Doomsday trailer. Peter in this movie is a student at Empire State University, where Bruce Banner teaches. Peter's no longer using any Stark tech, and trailers have shown shots where Peter will fight low-level Spidey villains in recreations of classic comic covers. Scorpion, Tarantula, Boomerang, Ramrod, and The Hand. We also know that Tombstone will appear in this movie. Keith David will also be playing some mystery role. The biggest mystery going into this film is Sadie Sink's character. The film's marketing is leaving it a complete mystery, even leading into the mystery with Sadie Sink in media spots.
I can confirm I am not Spider-Man. Second, I can confirm I am not Aunt May. And third, I can definitely confirm that I am in this movie.
But we know her character is a kind of telepathic mind control power that can hop from person to person, and that she's being chased by an anti-mutant authority from the comics, and that her character will return in Avengers Secret Wars. That has made us strongly suspect that she is the mutant Jean Grey. But I still think there's a 10% chance that she's a different character like Madeline Pryor, Jean Grey's clone, Rachel Summers, Cyclops and Jean's daughter, Spider-Queen, Ariana Soria, Firestar, or some new MCU character that's a composite of other characters. Peter will be going through his own kind of mutation in this movie, as he now has organic webbing that comes out of his wrists like his variant played by Tobey Maguire. There are a lot of theories as to why that's happening and why Marvel would introduce a character like Jean Grey in this movie. I have a lot of videos about that, specifically that it seems like this movie is setting up the mutant saga that comes beyond, and that they might justify these new things happening.
Well, I gave you $1 trillion, so that's, so you actually just didn't do that though, bro. You actually just didn't give me $1 trillion.
By gamma radiation released throughout this universe by the snapping of infinity stones and other incursion events, and that causes the X genes in certain individuals to go from being dormant to being active. That would explain why certain other characters that have been identified as mutants, like Namor and Kamala Khan, have just started to arrive during this mutant saga as well. The city of New York in the MCU right now recently went through 2 seasons of Daredevil Born Again, where Mayor Wilson Fisk's anti-vigilante task force have hunted vigilantes like Spider-Man, but now with Fisk replaced by Mayor-elect Sheila Rivera, it seems like Spider-Man is back in the good graces of the public. Tom Holland has not yet been confirmed for Avengers Doomsday, but we suspect this movie's post-credit scene will set up the events of Doomsday somehow. Doomsday is suspected to end with the creation of Battleworld, and one of those 40+ divisions of the continent in the comics is a Spider Island, where all of our Spider-Man variants could return in that movie. Okay, that is everything you need to know going into Spider-Man Brand New Day. Comment down below with your thoughts and what you're most
Zero_Nico donated $1 trillion in super chat. Fuck you.
Looking forward to, and a special thanks to one of our underground subscribers, Ricardo Martinez, for supporting us at the.
All right, chat. So I'm excited, maybe a little more excited. It wasn't nothing too crazy. It was just like like recaps and stuff. Nothing I didn't know too crazy. I want to say this donated I donated a whole country, but you just didn't do that though, Nico. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you just didn't do that. But look, PB, let me do my outro. Do my outro real quick. But what I was saying was like, you know, I didn't know too much. Let me know what y'all didn't know and did know in the comments. Was this video useful or useless? Let me know. But thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Don't forget to follow my Twitch. And don't forget to subscribe to my other YouTube channel called J Off Bill Skits. Thank you for watching. God bless.
Millions. Put it in their cash, getting buried in millions. Niggas with me, bitches think we terrorists. Billions. Stacks of cash and lay low like barbarians. Brazilians. Wax it and pass it to Australians. Ay, I suppose it's a proposal. Ay, most of these niggas ain't supposed.